Okay. I'm going to call the Hanover Borough Finance and Personnel Committee meeting to order for December 17th, 2025. And the first thing on the agenda would be public comment. So, Sandy Mao. Oh, sorry, you went the second one. My fault. Anna Baker. Yep, your mic's on. You're good.
Yep. Excuse me. Ann Baker, Ward 5. So this evening, I'd like to provide some thoughts and a way forward for the Hanover Area Fire and Rescue Commission. As we heard last month, there appears to be some financial concerns with the commission and particularly with the EMS division. Unfortunately, this was the first that the public had been made aware of these issues, and even then, there has not been a full disclosure of what exactly the issues are, only a reference to failed audits and high budgets. Meeting notes for the monthly commission meetings are still not posted from 2021 through November of this year. Dissolving the shared resources and emergency services without a published transition operational plan does not allow the taxpayers of Hanover or Penn Township to understand the issues and potential solutions. Lacking that information, and for other reasons, I do not feel that it's prudent for Hanover to remove itself from this arrangement and seek a private contract solution for EMS provisions. As Abraham Lincoln said, the legitimate object of government is to do for a community of people whatever they need to have done, but cannot do for themselves. Services for the public good, particularly those that ensure the life, health, and safety of its citizens, are inherently governmental services and should be provided for through our taxes and overseen by our elected and salaried officials. They are not a profit center and should not be held to that standard. I ask that the borough, in conjunction with Penn Township supervisors, do the following to ensure the continued protection of life, health, and safety of its citizens. Develop meaningful benchmarks for the Fire and Rescue Commission to achieve over the next 6 to 12 months, requiring monthly public reporting on those benchmarks that is reflected on the Commission's website and the borough's website. Merge the two non-borough websites into one, 79fire.com and 79firevolunteers.com, so consistent information is available to the public. All sites should have the names and contact information of the commission members so that the public knows who is on the commission and can contact them. All websites should have updated weekly logs so that the public can track what emergency activity is being supported. Upload the meeting minutes for the monthly Hanover Area Fire and Rescue Commission meetings from 2021 to present to the borough's website. Appoint a financial overseer for the commission, particularly to move the EMS division into financial compliance and implement on-time billing and receivables. Review the organizational structure of the fire service and EMS division and determine whether additional administrative support positions should be created and filled or contracted out. Ensure that the viewpoints of the existing EMS employees are sought and included in this plan. While there certainly are other steps to ensure the health of the EMS division and appropriate fiscal oversight, I do not believe that it is in our best interest to disband the commission and create our own separate services. Hanover Borough should be seeking more collaboration rather than less with our geographical neighbors. Much can be gained from economies of scale and shared resources and planning. Further, private EMS contractors are not beholden to the citizens of Hanover, only to their profits and shareholders. With the recent and ongoing departures of many medical professionals from both UPMC and WellSpan in the Hanover area, there is no guarantee that contracted emergency services for Hanover residents would remain a priority for the private business. More importantly, while the cost of a contract may show as a smaller amount on the borough budget, it will not decrease the cost to taxpayers. Instead, it will be a regressive tax or pay for play for those who can least afford it. That is not how a public good should work. That's not how I want my taxpayer dollars used. I encourage the council and the borough staff to commit to sharing all the information about the situation with the public and to continue to update the public on any progress or lapses, along with an outline of what the borough plans to do to fix the situation. Should the council still feel that a dissolution is the only option, I believe it's important to put that plan to a vote via ballot measure to allow the public to have a direct say in how our emergency services will operate. Thank you.
Thank you. She emailed that to us yesterday.
You have a slightly different version. I'm going to make sure that the secretary has this copy as well.
Thank you
Yep.
very much. Okay. Mr. Holt.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Robert Holt from the 3rd Ward, the neglected, unprotected, underrepresented 3rd Ward that has proved to be the dumping ground for the borough. And I'll give you an example of that shortly. But since we're on the Fire Commission, and I find it interesting that people have never set foot in the Fire Commission meeting in the 3.5 years that I've been attending them, have got a laundry list of recommendations of how the Fire Commission should proceed and how we should go, when all of you don't even have all the facts about what has happened. I can tell you that there were signs of problems back in June when the Adams Regional Medical Services was covering the ambulance calls for the commission because they were having staffing issues with the EMS. But I think before you do anything, you need to get all of the facts. You have 2 representatives from the borough, Mr. Kress, Mr. Reichert. You have 2 representatives from Penn Township every month. Mr. Elksness and Mr. Heilman, I think it is often there. And other people, Mr. Newman from the borough, a local businessman, is kind of the neutral chairman of the commission. And none of this has ever been discussed. And the fire commissioner would come to the public safety committee meetings here at the borough, and there would be no discussion about this, in part because I think he was restrained from speaking about it. I think he wanted to speak about it, and I think the chairman of the Public Works Safety Committee wanted to hear those kinds of issues. But for some reason, the agenda got set without the chairman having real input, and some of his meetings were canceled without the chairman's even knowledge that they were being canceled. So I just don't know. But I will tell you this. It seems clear that there are some issues that have been going on financially, and there should be a restructuring of the commission and as far as the fiscal operations, and they should report directly to the Penn Township supervisors and the borough council members for direct oversight and approval of expenditures, because you just hear all kinds of wild stuff. And the only way we're going to know is that you have direct oversight, and they should be answerable to you. You are the clients, and you are responsible for looking out for your number one responsibility, and that is to protect the public. And your second responsibility as a government is to oversee the resources and ensure that there's some stewardship in how those resources are used. And that is just in a nutshell. I think there's a way to do this without disbanding, maybe disbanding. I don't know what you decide. I don't know what is the best thing, but you don't have all the facts. And it just seems like there's people who want to point fingers and hang it on one guy, and I think that's not the way to go on this. So that's my first thought as far as the Fire Commission. I'm going to go to a little bit that touches on the budget, because I was looking in your agenda at the salaries for the borough officers and then some of the uniformed people, and I just think the salaries are out of whack and no reflection of what cost of living is here in Hanover. I mean, you're giving the borough manager a $10,000 pay raise, $158,824. That's a $10,000 pay increase from last year. And I know because I dug it out, what they didn't put in your packet, which was the resolution from last year and the proposed resolution from this year. And then we got a whole row of people back here who are getting $4,000 and $5,000 raises in 1 year. And I don't know, it just doesn't seem to fit, particularly when you're running budget deficits and you're having to take money out of reserve funds, out of the general funds to cover exotic things like subsidizing the market house to the tune, well, I hear this year it's $25,000, but you've got projected 60-some thousand that you're going to subsidize something that you've kind of categorized as recreation and culture, which seems to be me subsidizing businesses under some kind of economic development program. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. And really what you need to do with the budget is pass an interim budget with a firm agreement to come back and amend it after the first of the year, because there's a lot of issues in this budget, and it is padded. It is heavily padded. There's a lot of looseness in it, and you just can't hang that on the financial guy. So I also want to turn to the fact that the third ward is underrepresented. And that is, once again, you're appointing people to committees where you take citizens from ad hoc at large. And once again, no appointments from the third ward. Over and over and over again, year after year, there's no appointments from the third ward. We are the neglected. We are the underrepresented. And I got to tell you, what a farce I saw at the Recreation Board meeting last week. It just left me shaking my head from a chairman, Barbara Rupp, who likes to cite Robert's Rules of Order and tell us we need to abide by Robert's Rules of Order when it comes time to shutting the public up and not letting them speak. And I know, Mr. Chairman, I'll wrap. And yes, sir. But they had two motions, and it seemed like they gave the wrong time for the candidates to show up. They said 6 o'clock when the meeting started at 5:30, so two candidates didn't show up. Ms. Rupp immediately nominated, with the absence of those people, that Clay Reichert be appointed to the board, and then that motion got tabled. Then some other people showed up, and a couple other members made a motion to nominate another person, Dashiell Sears, and then they deadlocked, and neither side would budge. And they couldn't break the resolution, so now they're like, well, we got to wait and postpone this until we talk to the borough solicitor. It was a sham, and both sides of the issue, the two on each side, had already decided who they wanted to be on the board before they even interviewed anybody. And when people came up for interviews, there were no questions or just a couple of questions from the other candidates. It was already stacked, and that's wrong. And we demand that we're going to get fair representation, and there should be a policy that every committee that has citizen representation should have a representative from each ward. When I look at this panel, sometimes I wonder if this isn't exactly what our founders, the men and women who started this country way back, when they wrote the Federalist Papers, and they warned of a bureaucracy and an aristocracy and the majority just steamrolling over the minority. And that's what I'm looking at here, sir.
All right.
And I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Okay. Community media, could you help me out?
Those joining us via Zoom, you are now able to unmute yourselves if you would like to address council.
Okay, seeing none, we will move on to 3.
Jim, before we move on, I'm here asking a question. I'm sure I can get that answered right now. I was at the library board meeting. I sat on it, and I was told that the Market House, Margie, you can help me with this too, the Market House made a profit this year. But I don't understand how we made the $600 profit when, in fact, subsidy-wise, we put in from, the citizens $25,000 approximately. Matt, you brought that up. How do we make a profit? I haven't figured it out.
Under management reports at the end of the meeting, Matt and Curtis were here to,
What did you,
Thank you.
Sorry.
no, what did,
Under the management reports at the end of the meeting, Matt and Curtis are planning on making a presentation, and
about the profit?
they'll be able to answer your questions, and I'm sure Mr. Shelton can help them if they need a financial question answered as well.
Okay, because I've been checking everything out, and I
They're making a
don't-
management report.
Well, no, I don't know how we make a profit of 600 when we're paying out $25,000.
Question will get answered here as we move down the agenda.
Okay, put it on. No, I ask it.
It's already on
And
there.
before you move on and you get to number 5,
Oh.
make sure that you pull out 504 and let that be voted on. So, okay.
Let me just
I'm
get down-
doing it
let me just
now
get down the
because
list, please,
I'm
if you
my
would.
age and I need answers.
We'll help you, don't worry.
Thank you.
All right. Mr.
Borough-
Solicitor.
Thank you. Borough Council had an executive session this evening from 6:30 PM to approximately 7:05 involving the following items under Section 708A1, 4, and 5 of the Sunshine Act, matters involving the Fire Commission and personnel issues regarding borough employees.
Okay, now we're moving on to 4.01, which is service awards. I believe we have some presentations.
Good evening. I'm Kristin Phillips-Hill. I serve as the state senator in the 28th district representing Southern York County, and it is an honor to be here before you all this evening. First, I want to say thank you. We are a week away from Christmas Eve, and there is much that all of us in this room need to be doing, so we appreciate Madam Mayor, Mr. President, Borough Council members, your service. And I think it is heartwarming to see engaged citizens here taking their time at this busy time of the year to express their concerns and to be able to work with elected officials for the betterment of the community. Thank you for what you do. Earlier last month, the York County Boroughs Association met. And at their request, I present certificates of recognition to Borough Council members across the 28th District in recognition of their service to their communities. Fun fact, there are 36 boroughs in York County. 26 of them are in Southern York County in the 28th District, the largest of which we are so fortunate to be in this evening, and that's the borough of Hanover. And so while Councilperson Rupp was there to receive her award, Councilman Reichert was not. And so I was asked to be here this evening to present his certificate of recognition for reaching the milestone of the 10-year service award. And while he is not here this evening, I do think that it is fitting to acknowledge and recognize his 12 years of unwavering commitment and service to the borough of Hanover, to thank him for that and to wish him all the very best. So if I may, Mr. President, present this certificate of recognition for William W. Reichert to you, and thank you all for your public service.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
And I would be remiss if I did not wish you all a very Merry Christmas.
Moving on to number 5, the consent agenda. I think we're going to hear a motion from this side.
Yes. Great.
You want to make a motion to remove?
Yeah, to vote on that. Go ahead. 504. He wants 504.
To remove from the consent agenda.
Okay, we need a second. You're just moving 504, correct? Okay.
509 too?
I don't know if no one has seconded yet. So they have to make a new,
Do you want to amend your motion to include 5.09? Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
so you want 504 and 509 pulled from the consent agenda.
Yeah.
Looking for a second.
Who made the comment on the 509?
Okay, we got a second?
Ed? Okay.
We got a second? So we're voting on everything on the consent agenda except for 5.04 and 5.09.
Got it.
We have a second.
Yeah, I'll
Yes, we
second
have a
if we
second,
don't.
yes.
Okay.
Okay? Any discussion on what we're voting on? Seeing none, I'll call the roll. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now, do we want to discuss 504? Do we want to,
So, should be a motion to approve it
Greg,
and then.
you want to
second, then
discuss
discussion.
504?
I'm looking for a motion for 504.
Darlene, since you, did you call for discussion yet?
No, I'm calling for right now.
No,
I'm looking
he's
for a
calling
motion
for
for
it now.
5.04.
Make a motion.
Thank you. Have a second?
Okay, go with good, Greg.
Do I have a second?
You want to talk about it?
Second.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, any discussion on 504?
I think what we all need here is just a little bit more information. We want to approve a resolution for 2026, the compensation and the health insurance premium share for both borough officials and non-union employees. What does that basically, can you give it to me in a,
Do you want to speak to this?
thank you.
Assistant Borough Manager?
Okay, you're going to get your information.
Hello. As discussed in executive session, those are all of your management positions, all of your senior level personnel who fall under the non-union. So those are not your employees who are involved in the 5 different unions that are represented at the borough. And their compensation is based on their performance evaluations and the borough's compensation policy, which has been in place since about 2022. And so that's what those raises are based on. And then in addition, the health insurance is tied to the premium increase. So because the health insurance increased, their share of insurance will, of that cost increases proportionately.
So their portion of what they're paying, what they're putting into it has increased, am I
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Can you give me a percentage of the increase?
So our increase ended up being 18.2% was our health insurance increase for the year. And the borough employees pay 7.5% of the cost of that insurance premium,
Of the 18% or?
of the entire amount.
The
Mhm.
entirety?
Yes.
Okay. All right, that's what I needed to know. Thank you so much.
Any other discussion? Not seeing any. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
You have one negative.
2. We have 2. Motion carries. Okay. 5.09, I'd be looking for a motion, please.
So motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Can you explain to me what's going on? Can you explain what exactly is going on with that? Can someone explain to it?
Is there anyone here that can answer that question for him? Sure.
All right, good evening. So essentially what 509 does is sets up direct civil service to run two promotional tests, one for the position of sergeant and one for the position of lieutenant. After testing last year, we were still short a position to fill the detective sergeant spot. So we're looking to fill that. Borough code allows for 5 sergeants within the police department. We currently have 4. We are also looking ahead for personnel changes and retirements in 2026, and we're trying to move ahead with that as well and prepare an eligibility list for the position of lieutenant as well.
That
And
answer
this
your
is
question?
procedural through civil service.
Okay, I understand. Appreciate it.
Any other discussion? Seeing none? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to number 6 on our agenda, Department of Water Resources, 6.01. Does anybody want to talk about this, or does anybody have any questions about this before we talk about it? Okay. I would be looking for a motion, please,
So motion.
and a second.
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? Not seeing any. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 6.02, real-time AI wastewater optimization. I'll be looking for a motion for that, please.
I'll motion.
And a
Second.
Okay. Any discussion?
Yeah, I think this is important and here.
Microphone, please, sir.
Yeah.
I can take care of it.
Well,
You have a
okay,
question?
yeah. No, just, I think it's an important thing and it's a good idea. I just wanted to reinforce.
Yeah, we're working with this company, borough staff, we're gonna work with this company, and they're gonna help secure grants.
Yep.
Obviously, with artificial intelligence blossoming, we're looking to save money anywhere we can, cut costs, electricity, chemical. So, we think it's a good idea, but the cost right now, there's no cost right now until we identify the grant. And then when we identify the grant, we're gonna come back to Borough Council and say, it's either a matching grant or there's a certain percentage we're gonna match. But that's to be determined because we really don't, there's not a specific grant we're looking for right now. We're just in search of any grants.
You're doing the search now.
Yeah,
That's correct.
This is just an authorized search, so we're not gonna do anything other than find them, identify them, and then we'll come back to Borough Council and say, hey, found a grant, this is the match, and then you guys and gals will ultimately have the, final say.
All right, thank you.
I think it's a good idea.
Absolutely. We're
great
always
idea.
looking to, always looking for cost reductions, sure.
Are most of those grants matching grants?
I
I heard you say it
yes.
twice, that's
Well,
why I'm
we
asking.
obviously, we'd like to get matching grants, but we just really don't know what's out there yet. We're just kind of identifying what's available right now.
Okay, and then it comes back to council.
That is correct.
Absolutely,
Thank
yes. You will have the final say. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, got a motion and a second.
Yep. you're
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 6.03, Elm Avenue PennDOT cost reimbursement.
Motion.
Thank you. Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to the Planning Commission, number 7. 7.01, geotechnical boring. This was in our packet, so be looking for a motion.
Motion.
Thank you. A second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes. I need to, I'm really having trouble with this one. Can I get some information, Eric? Simplify?
I can, yes.
Thank you. That's all I want.
That's what I'm here for.
Do you want to talk about it, Mr. Maines?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought there was something specific you were going to ask me for.
No, I
that you
just
needed.
need it
Okay.
rounded
So,
off.
just from a basic level, so if you'll remember, some time ago, this council authorized a land swap for a potential development of the site along Wilson Avenue behind Raymore and Flanagan's. As part of what they're doing as they continue their exploration to see if that's a viable option for them to do, they want to do geotechnical boring. So basically, they bring a small machine in, drills a hole down through, pulls the soil out, they send the soil away, and they test it. And the reason what they're testing for is how able is that soil to support something, a structure of some sort on top of it. It's a very normal and customary thing.
Right.
What happens that's a little bit different here is, in order to get an accurate profile of what that site is, 2 or 3 of those borings will be on property that we currently own, but will be part of the land swap that eventually will be part of what is their site. Because if you'll remember, they were getting some, we were getting some.
Right.
So unfortunately, because that hasn't happened yet, they can't just go on our property and drill holes.
Right.
They need your permission ultimately to do that. So I have worked with your solicitor to develop an agreement that controls the risk for us, because I think it's important that if somebody's going to be on our property, if something, God forbid, would happen, that we are duly covered. And so things like insurance coverage, environmental risk, all of those things are part of the agreement. That's what you're being asked to enter into tonight, is an agreement that says, yeah, it's okay if you're on our property, but you're going to carry a certificate of insurance. If something happens, it's on you. Here's how it goes. We set the rules, basically. That's what this is.
That's all I needed to know. Yeah, a little
Okay.
bit more.
Any other
simple.
discussion?
Yep.
Okay. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 702, 128 Mile Avenue. Approve preliminary and final subdivision plan for 2 single-family residence lot at 128 Mile Avenue.
So motion.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 703, 1091 Eichelberger Street. Approve the preliminary and final subdivision plans for 1 commercial lot at 1091 Eichelberger Street. I will need a motion. I got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Where that address would be.
Seeing none. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, Finance, Personnel, and Administration, 8.01. This is the recommended appointment and reappointment of the following individually or all at once? Okay. Zoning Hearing Board, a 3-year term for Spencer Shirk and Gerald Funk. Planning Commission for 4-year terms, Anna Baker and Margaret Miller. Hanover Economic Development Corporation for a 3-year, Douglas Becker and Mindy Crawford. Police Pension Committee for 2 years, John J. Riley Jr., Larry Bream, and C. Edwards Cool. Civil Service Commission for 6 years, Joey E. Erb Jr. Sewage Enforcement Officer, 2 years, Douglas Stanball and Dean Schultz is the alternate. Property Maintenance Code Appeal Board, 2-year term, Eric Kenworthy. And Vacancy Board, 2-year term for Brian O'Neill. Be looking for a motion for this.
Motion.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Can I have any discussion?
Nope.
Okay, seeing none. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 8.02, Fire Commission, Sustainability. I'm going to read a statement here, so bear with me. Following the Borough Council's November 25th, 2025 meeting, representatives of the Borough Council met with representatives of Penn Township to discuss the future of the Hanover Area Fire and Rescue Commission. At this meeting, many of the financial and operational issues identified at the borough's November 25th, 2025 public meeting were discussed. We can report that the meeting was very productive. Once again, very productive. And we look forward to continuing discussions with Penn Township regarding the commission so that together, Hanover Borough and Penn Township can better provide regional fire and emergency services to the public. I don't have to do anything else for that one, correct? Thank you. Not looking for a motion there. I am not. I just like to read. Good. Do you have any reports of council members? Sorry, you got me. Report of council members, anything? I don't believe so.
I have
Oh.
something I just wanted to share. I received a thank you note from the organization Hanover Against Hunger, and they wanted to thank me. It's borough staff. We had quite a few borough staff that came and helped pack meals, and the Hanover Borough Police. So I just wanted to share that with everybody, that we received a thank you from Doug West and Hanover Against Hunger.
Thank you for that, Mayor. We appreciate that. Any management reports?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'm pleased to report that as of November 30th, the Market House is operating in the black, and looks like it will operate in the black for 2025. So that is a huge accomplishment for the Market House. In recent history, we don't believe that's happened. So, Darlene, I believe you have a question on that.
Very confused. I know the report was given out at the board meeting for the library. But if we're giving subsidy of 25,000 or in around that area, 24, 25, that, to me, I don't know how you're coming up with a profit, because we're paying them through a subsidy. So they can't do it on their own yet. Where are we coming up with $600 profit? If you're profiting, we shouldn't be subsidizing. I mean, that's the way I'm looking at it, Matt. You've got to explain this to me, because I know it was in evidence that we want the library to become sustainable on its own. That I got. But just, you have to get me there. You have to show me as a businesswoman
Yes.
that you made a profit. Because if you made a profit, you wouldn't need the subsidy. I mean, so you're on.
Okay.
I mean, try to explain it to me.
So what the subsidy is at the beginning of every year, January 1, there is money that is front-loaded into the Market House budget. That money is there to help with operational expenses while we are collecting the rent and the rental agreements for the next year. So the $25,000 that is a subsidy, that ends up offsetting itself. It gets paid back as the rents and the rental agreements get renewed.
Okay.
So
say that
yes.
slowly.
Okay.
Again. To me.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Go.
at the beginning of the year, there is money that is front-loaded into the Market House budget.
And it's coming out of the taxpayers' pocketbook,
it is
right? Okay.
Correct.
All right.
It's part of the budget.
Okay.
But that money is recouped as the rental agreements for the following year come in. So the money. Yes, yes, it's basically, it's a loan for the year.
Paid back.
Correct. So even without the subsidy, the Market House in 2025 still would have operated in the black. It would have been very small in the black, but it's nothing in the red like it has been in the past.
So we're making a recovery there. We're giving the 25,000 back. It's just simply a loan.
Yes.
And then it's paid back to the borough, and then
Correct.
we start over for the following.
Yes.
So out of that, we made over and above paying that 25,000 back.
Correct.
Correct? $600 more. Is
A
that what you're saying?
a little more. I mean, we're not at the end
I'm
of the.
quoting you from the meeting.
Yeah, it's in that area. It could be a couple $1,000s. It's
So
you know.
it is showing that the market is sustainable now.
Correct. And that is what we were aiming for.
Taxpayers are, so
Yes.
it's coming back to the taxpayer.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
And
I
and
could not understand that, because I'm seeing, subsidy
Mm-hmm.
there, and I think as of November, subsidy was 25,000.
and I'll just defer
That's
to.
been, just let me
Yeah,
know, it's been
okay.
paid back, it's marked in full, and it's back in the taxpayers.
And just to
so-called
defer to
pocket.
Jim as our.
Yeah.
There he is.
I
We've
just
discussed that to,
Yeah.
make sure that, what the numbers that he came up with and that we've come up with, that's correct, how we're explaining that to you.
So for the first time, the market is sustainable on its own.
Yes.
It just needs that little jump lift at
Yes.
the beginning, and it's like going to the bank, borrowing the money, and paying it back.
Correct.
And it's all paid back.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. So that's very positive. We spoke to the enhancement committee last winter. We explained that we thought with a year we would be able to get to that point, that we were not in the red, but we would be in the black. So this past Saturday, we had probably the most foot traffic we have ever had in the Market House on a Saturday. It was packed. A lot of new people. The vendors all said they saw faces they'd never seen before. We believe that this all is part of working closely with Main Street Hanover on the cocoa and cookie stroll that they did. They sold 300 tickets, so that just alone is 300 new people potentially that came into the Market House on Saturday. We've also been working with Big D's Pit, which is the restaurant that will be going in at Good Field. We've been working with them. They set a pop-up up a couple times a year at the market this past year, which increases foot traffic. So between adding some things and doing increased marketing, we've been able to get the foot traffic up. With rental increases that were effective for the 2024 calendar year, the addition of the Thursday night market in June, July, and August of this year, we were able to increase our revenue to the place we are now. Council over the summer approved an increase for 2026 calendar year, which should help to continue this upward trend. Please note that things such as electric, utilities, and others are billed back to the vendors or metered separately, so the borough is not subsidizing stands. The stands pay for the utilities that they use.
Okay, can I ask one other question?
Yes.
Now, are different vendors getting, paying different percentages? Because I got I got info that the restaurants that are there, serving the food, right, is going to be increased by 7%. And those who have the stands, it's going to increase to 10. 10%? Was I given the wrong info on that?
I believe that is what the percentages are for the increases that were voted on. I believe it's 10% and 7%.
7. Okay. Can I ask another question?
Yes.
Why isn't it fairly absorbed across the board, restaurants and stalls be 10%? Why is one given a 3% break? Can you explain this to me, please?
So it's based on the numbers that people were currently paying. We were trying to make the increases more across the board the same level. So it's based on what the previous numbers might have been. So nobody's really paying more than $50 more a year. Am I correct, Curtis?
The restaurants pay an additional $70 for the restaurant space in the year. Everyone else's single stall rates go up $50. The vendors at the restaurants also pay for 3 separate stalls in their seating areas. So those have been affected by the 10% increase. Simply the restaurant portion itself, that went up 7%.
Have you received any complaints from the stalls or from the, well, you wouldn't hear it from the restaurants, I don't think, but have you heard any squabbles about the increases, from 7 and 10%? Has nobody has taken offense to that? It's okay?
Yeah, most people grumble when they hear the rates are going up, but the thing that a lot of people understand is that running in the deficit could cause us to not have a market like this in the future. And so a lot of the vendors understand that, being able to break even is crucial, and to pay for those utilities, rates had to go up.
Okay.
They hadn't kept up with.
So the electric works how again? How does that work? Do they pay for their own usage?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they do.
That's what I need to know.
Yes.
They all pay for their own
They do.
usage. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
No, you're good. Thank you.
all.
Good questions. So the Market House drives people to downtown Hanover on Saturdays. It's an important factor in drawing people to our borough. Additionally, the area around the Market House meets several of the criteria set forth by the USDA as a food desert. So not only does the Market House bring commerce and visitors downtown, it is directly benefiting lower income residents of the borough, and Curtis is going to talk about that briefly. The Market House is currently 100% occupied. So he's going to discuss vendor makeup, expectations of the vendors that help to ensure our success, as well as further explanation of the food desert and how the Market House fills the need for the community.
Can I ask one other question?
Sure.
With the stalls and everything, and we are at full capacity.
Yes.
Every stall is taken.
Yes.
Does okay, sometimes you can rent a stall for a month or two. Is this all filled for the whole year or just during the holiday?
Some of them are just holiday fills.
Just the
Yes.
holiday fill, and then you can get empty
Yes.
stalls back
Beginning,
after
yeah, the start of the new
holiday.
year.
Okay, I just
Yep.
need to know that.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Matt, and thank you for listening. I will touch briefly on that food desert portion first off, which is to say that Matt is correct. The U.S. Department of Agriculture does identify this part of Hanover and a portion of McSherrystown as, I believe, a level 2 food desert, which is to say that 50% of residents live more than half a mile away of walking or driving distance from a supermarket. And when the market is in operation, that helps bridge that gap. We were able to be a location for people to come and stock up on their supplies for the week. So I just want to start with saying, as of Saturday, December 13th, the Hanover Market House is operating at maximum capacity. The market currently hosts 42 individual businesses and nonprofit organizations. These vendors collectively occupy 112 total stall spaces throughout the whole building. The current vendor mix reflects a diverse balance of food, agriculture, prepared items, and artisanal goods. And I have the breakdown for the stalls for you today. 19 of the 112 stalls, 16.96%, are produce vendors. They are local produce. Sometimes during the winter, when you don't have a greenhouse, they still get some shipment produce in. But the difference between them and somebody like Giant or Walmart is that they effectively get that produce right off the trailer, and they bring it directly to the market. Where Walmart or Giant, they might have to hold on to it for a week while they offload their current inventory. The baked good vendors make up 16 stalls in the market. That's 14.29% of the market house. We have 2 restaurants, and as I mentioned, the restaurant itself counts as 3 stalls, and then their seating area that is exclusively theirs that they pay for is an additional 3 stalls. So every restaurant is a full 6 stalls of the market, making them 12 stalls in total, which is 10.71% of the whole market. 10 stalls are made up of the 3 delis that we have in the market, the vegan deli, the American deli, and the Italian deli, as well as the pretzel lady. That makes up 8.93% of the market. Then we have our canned goods, dried goods, and candy vendors. That is another 10 stalls in the market, another 8.93%. We also have flowers and live plants vendors, people that do flower arrangements and nursery greens that you can take home and plant yourself, or the basil you can buy and sit on your windowsill and pick from while you're making your dinners. And they make up 7.14% of the market. We do have a single service vendor, and he does blade sharpening and repair. His 1 stall makes up 0.9% of the market. And then we do have 36 artisans and crafting vendors. It's a mix of woodworking and crocheting, people that have the ability to take your, knit sweater and repair it. It's not exactly the service they offer, but it's alongside and in addition to what they already sell. So to summarize that, I believe the current layout and vendor composition of the Hanover Market House reflects a fully occupied, well-diversified public market that's balancing fresh food access, prepared foods, retail offerings, and artisan goods. Stall allocations have been intentionally structured to support both vendor success and a welcoming customer experience. The full occupancy and the balanced products mix that we've worked to achieve or to bring into the market have directly contributed to improving the market stability and performance in 2025. And I want to tell you a little bit about what we've been doing this year, if that's all right. So throughout 2025, the Market House has expanded its role as a community gathering space through consistent, low-cost programming that's designed to increase foot traffic, vendor sales, and public engagement. The seasonal Thursday market that lasted for 13 weeks from June to August, it provided more vendors with an opportunity to sell their wares and more customers the opportunity to buy goods outside of our usual Saturday business hours, all while...
Incremental vendors.
Oh, sorry, not incremental. It just provided more vendors with an opportunity to sell their wares.
New people as opposed to just everybody that we already had.
I understand now. We did have some current Market House vendors, and they came out and separately signed up for the Thursday market, but the rest of that market was made up of brand new vendors.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I was interested in, because I was getting different feedback from the people of Hanover, And when you were using that on Thursday, the parking, how were we doing with the parking also? Because we have meters there. Did we show an increase in money through those meters? Also, do you have any of that info?
So
Have you gone beyond, just a minute, Scott. You know, have you, it's just curiosity, because when you bring in new business, it affects that entire area down there. So did you have any, where were they parking? Were they using the meters, or were they trying to find empty space behind the market? What were they doing?
At the time, the Passport parking app was installed, but that parking lot was not supposed to be a part of the Passport program.
Correct.
And so nobody was really effectively paying that app in our lot, like during the week. As far as I'm aware, I don't think anybody was using it that way. But I specially requested permission from Styline Kitchens and Schmuck Lumber behind the market, who allowed us to use their parking lot for the Thursday market.
So they cooperated and it went well.
It was out. Yeah, it was very much a team effort. If they hadn't allowed us to do that, I don't think we would have had the successful Thursday market that I feel we did.
Well, some felt that outside where you that they expected more vegetables. Did you get any feedback on this? Because I really need to hear this from you.
Absolutely. I took a lot away from the lessons that I learned at the Thursday market. And number one is that it is very difficult to get a big produce vendor interested in a brand new risky endeavor.
Okay.
If you can understand that, farmers don't like to take that much risk. So they like to go where it's established, where they can go, and we try to essentially get a good name started for the Thursday market, so that way next year they may be interested in signing up with us.
Okay, so we're taking the time to begin to test market their, and they don't like to take that risk, so if you build upon it, you'll get some cooperation in that area which you want to delve into, right?
That's what I believe.
Okay.
Okay. So that Thursday market did provide us with low-cost advertising, and it helped advertise the indoor market house itself because it offered a different time in the week that many folks can't always make it out to, the Saturday morning market. So by having something happening there on another day at another time, it just showed more people, this building's here. Come and check us out on Thursdays and come back on Saturday. We have a whole different set available for you when you come. We also participated in monthly Second Saturday events, which brought themed programming into the market. It encouraged repeat visitation and showed solidarity between a borough entity and our community by virtue of us coordinating so well with Main Street Hanover. We also put on family-focused experiences like the Photos With that we do, which is the photos with like the Easter Bunny, Santa, the Grinch. It is a big draw and it's free to all families and any of our customers that come into the market. It's really turned into a big draw. These events draw new and returning customers back into the market, and it strengthens the market's identity as a welcoming, multi-generational destination. In August, the Market House also hosted a Young Entrepreneur-themed month, providing youth vendors with real-world businesses and experience and reinforcing the market's commitment to small business development. Collectively, these initiatives, I believe, increased visibility, enhanced the customer experience, and supported vendor success without requiring significant additional operational costs. Thank you for your time.
I don't have a question, but I just have a brief comment. I want to thank you for that entrepreneurial thing that you had. Those kids were really into it, and it was a really great way to get new people into the market. And while Matt's standing there, Scott would probably agree with me on this. The gala event that the library had was very, your whole staff did an incredible job. It was a classy event. I'm sorry the rest of you didn't have an opportunity to go. It was very, very nice and very well done. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well stated, Barb. Thank you.
Thank you for answering all of my questions also.
Okay.
Very much.
Manager, do we have any other management reports?
That's all for this month.
All right, thank you. Correspondence and information was in our packet. Moving on to 12, which is additional public comment. Mr. Holt, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Robert Holt, from the neglected, unprotected, underrepresented, dumped on third ward. I know you think that's funny, Mrs. Rupp, queen of the Robert's Rules, who conducted a farce of a board meeting review of candidates for the Recreation Board. That was a farce, and it just showed how this whole thing is stacked, that there's no third ward representatives on any of these committees. On the Fire Commission, the chairman of the Public Safety Committee for the borough and Penn Township should be appointed representatives to the Fire Commission. They should get direct reports, open reports at every Public Safety Committee meeting from the commissioner with details about situations like there was no ambulances able to run and they had to get the Adams Regional Medical Services to run the calls back in June. And I just think the public safety is where this issue has been parked for some time, and it just seems like there's been a concentrated effort to kind of keep it under the table and leaving the chairman of both committees, public safety committees, unable to be apprised and be able to respond and make recommendations to the council as a whole. So that's a thought. As far as the Market House, it's incredible. Mrs. Funk, I can explain very simply how you can get a $24,000 subsidy this year. It's projected to be $66,000 in 2026, and you can still show a profit. I think it's called Bidenomics. That's what I think it's called. And, you know, the line items on the budget do not reflect that the Market House vendors make up $92,000 in revenues. It only shows about $57,000 in revenues this year, and what was projected on the budget, and it only shows about 60-some thousand next year. But the Market House budget has been escalated to $131,000 for 2026. Go look it up in your budget. It's there. And so I don't know how you can say, well, we got a savings, but we still spend more money. And I think it's called Bidenomics. We know how that works. So I just looking at the budget items and either sloppy outline on the budget or you didn't explain it, but it's just not there. The figures are not there. And I don't know how you can say you got a subsidy at the taxpayer's expense. Taxpayers who are going to pay more taxes to the borough in terms of increased water consumption rate, more taxes to support the bond issue for this building, which you restructured back in July to extend the debt repayment all the way out to 2045, according to the documents you filed with the bond regulators and the bond marketers. So, you know, those documents are available for the public if they want to look. They just got to be nowhere to look. So I don't know where you're saying that you turned a profit at the Market House. You didn't. And that's just the plain, cold, hard facts. And there's no budget trickery that you can do like you did with the budget presentation during the Fire Commission and recently. And so I just think it's wrong. One last point. We need an open container law because this is what I picked up out of the alley coming into the borough meeting, out of the alley right here to this building, into the side door. The side door the public has to use because they're not allowed to come in the front door of their own house, the house they've paid $729,000 to buy the property, and then an amazing $3.1 million. The overrun's so high that now you don't have enough money to finish the police station, which was the whole reason we did this building project to begin with. So now the police don't have an auxiliary generator. They can't have a firing range. They can't have this. They can't have that. Now the Emergency Operations Center, you magically come up with $385,000, and you can put the Emergency Operations Center in this building instead of the public safety building. I don't get that one either. But you need an open container law, and you need to get this straightened out once and for all. This year alone, you've had 115 incidents involving alcohol between DUI, public drunkenness, underage drinking, the juveniles drinking, 115 incidents, and it resulted in over 100 arrests for DUI and public drunkenness, most of it public drunkenness. And so I'm just thinking, you must like it this way because you just keep letting it go despite the impacts it's having on our community, despite the impacts it's having on our neighborhoods. And I got my own little collection of this. I'll bring that in sometime and you can see it. But I'm not going to stop until there's an open container law. And I'm not going to stop on a lot of issues. There may be a new council coming in, but the elections aren't the reason that motivates me to come here month after month. And I want to say one last thing about all these great programs you come up with and all this stuff about the recreation facilities you're going to put out at the reservoir and on all this stuff, and you paid $49,000 for a van, and then you charge borough residents $65 to take them down to the Inner Harbor in Baltimore. You know, that kind of stuff. And a van that was never voted on at one of these committee meetings or one of these council meetings. And when I hear all this stuff about all this great stuff you're doing with the taxpayers' money, I'm like, I'm tired of you doing good against me. I really wish you would quit doing good against me because I would be better off if you didn't. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Can I address something here? Can I have Jim speak, Mr. Sheldon, on what Bob just talked about? Now I'm totally confused. After Bob spoke, now I'm confused on whether we really truly made a profit. Jim, you've got to explain this to everybody that's here.
I believe.
No, I need to
hold on,
understand this as a council member.
Hold on, we're going to help you.
Thank you.
I believe your staff told you that we made a profit, correct?
We were told they made a profit.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. What other clarification would you like?
The fact that Bob just brought up that there was no profit margin, Jim, can you address Bob's, please?
There was a profit.
There was a profit.
$1,000, there's still a profit for the market house. It's slim, it's not much there.
Right, like $600, right.
But it's break even, whether it's $1,000 or $600, it's close to break even. But the market house needs to have liquidity, like the library and other, funds. If they don't have any cash, we put money in so they can pay their bills.
Right,
Okay?
right. I understand that, but I don't understand what Bob's getting at. I'm totally confused that there isn't a...
Okay, hold on. At ease, hold on. Bob, I'm going to ask you to leave, Bob, please, thank you. We give you your opportunity, give us our opportunity. She has a question, it's legitimate. We're going to answer that. Your staff said that we made a profit.
I understood
Do you
it
need
at
some
the
more
beginning, and
clarification
now
on
I'm
that?
confused.
Both Jim and the staff from over here said we made a profit. The money was
Right, I
paid
heard
back.
it yeah, I heard it, but I didn't understand. Bob's saying there was none, and he quotes
Once
numbers.
again, I'm going to reiterate, your staff told you that we made a profit.
Yes, they did. They said they only
Do you have the
loaned
faith
out
in your
20
staff? I do.
What?
I have the faith in the staff that information is
Oh, I
correct.
do, but I have the right as a councilman
I agree
to speak
100%.
for my ward
I think maybe
and to find
Bob's
out truth.
information could be a little skew, and it's something we can definitely discuss. And I'll have an open discussion with you about it.
I would really like to have that discussion because I want us all to land on the same leg, okay?
I just want to
And
reiterate one
do
thing.
you
though.
understand
Yeah, I
where
understand
I'm
where you're coming
coming
from,
from?
but what I would like to say to you one more time is that staff came to us and told us that we made a profit.
Yep. And
I have the faith in the staff, management, that we did make a profit.
Hey, I don't have a problem, but
Okay.
I'm getting two sides here,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm saying, okay, give me, the truth is in the middle here somewhere. Get it to me so that I can explain it to my people in my ward. I owe them that, and they're questioning.
Okay.
So
I
need-
don't disagree with what you're saying, I'm just saying, staff told us we made a profit. I
Well,
believe staff.
Yeah,
I
that's
believe
beautiful.
everyone that's back
That's
here.
a statement, and I'm there, and I was understanding everything.
Okay,
okay.
any other questions?
Yeah, then when Bob stood up and started talking, his numbers changed, and I'm like, okay, we need to.
Who works
discuss
at the
this.
borough?
No, come on.
I know, I'm just saying, though, I mean, you gotta take your people's information as fact.
No, but I'm a councilman, and I'm
I agree.
saying, I'm getting this side, and I'm getting another side, and somewhere in the middle is the total truth. So if all you can do is say, we have to trust staff. I do, but you're also not God, and I want to know the truth, and I have a right to know it from my people.
Okay, hold on one second. Margie,
Oh, yes, it is, Scott. You always
hold
try
on,
to
hold
just
on, hold on. No
leave
one's
it
trying to
dead.
squash what you're saying.
No,
Please don't
I'm
take it that
watching,
way.
but Scott's always coming up with these,
Okay, hold on.
God.
Can you make sure you forward this report from the market house to all of us again?
Certainly.
So we can see it?
Certainly, we can do the profit loss.
Pretty simple?
I do need to see that.
We will have it.
I need
Profit
it
loss
on
is going
paper.
to show you that
Thank you.
$625 over what
Just
our
show me
expenses were.
on paper
Our expenses were one money.
That's what she's gonna send
Our
us.
income was $624 more.
I heard you. I heard you loud and clear. But now I'm getting other different numbers, and as a council, I don't feel comfortable with that.
Ma'am,
And I don't think
respectfully,
any
you
of
are
us
getting
should.
the same numbers from staff. Staff is not giving you any different numbers. We're giving you the correct actual profit and
Okay.
loss numbers.
Was Mr. Holt correct on the information he was giving? Was he given, Jim, you can tell me. Was it accurate numbers?
Jim.
What I'm telling you, Margie, is that the market house makes a small profit. I'm audited every year.
Correct.
Okay.
I have auditors who confirms our results. I'm very confident in what I'm saying. I'm not here to explain things beyond that. We're making a small profit. The market house makes a small profit.
Well, I was happy about that. I was happy about the profit. I couldn't understand, Matt, where it was coming from.
We
Okay.
have supportable reports that show that, and we'll make sure you have that.
Which we will get a copy of that, please.
And that should be your gold source. That is the truth. That is the truth that you have on these reports, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You'll get the updated information, and you can judge for yourself.
Right, and we budget why are we, okay, one other question is, why are we pushing the budget up for more for 2026? Is there a reason behind this? That we're not maintaining the same budget? Or why are we going higher?
We visited the budget 4 times. You had 4 opportunities to go through the budget in detail. We have gone through the
Right.
exhaustive detail. So if you need to go down and go through all the numbers, I can do that with you.
Okay, I think I would like to take you up on that.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
All right, thank you.
All right. Sandy Mao.
Okay, we'll get right to it. I come before you this evening to inform this council that they are in violation of a court order issued on April the 1st, 2025 by the Court of Common Pleas, where the parties, the Guthrie Memorial Library and the Hanover Borough, were required to agree to certain policies, one of which was no reduction of hours and no reduction of programs. I brought before the Board of Governors meetings and other meetings of our objection to that. And as those members of the Board of Governors this past Thursday, that was quite a barn burner. I have never seen discussion like we had that Thursday, where you had nobody walking on eggshells. They were killing as it was. So today, After knowing full well that they had been informed of their violation, I arrived to find that our opposition to these changes has been ignored. The temporary signs are now replaced with permanent ones on the front door. I draw your attention in another matter to the York County Library privacy policy. I've come before this board and others to voice my opposition to the continuous violation of my privacy and others. I have found recently that the York County Library is doing everything it can possibly do to protect us from unreasonable searches, etc. Pennsylvania has a state law that protects the confidentiality of the library records. Instances that private data cannot be protected, we will inform users that there is some risk involved when they use the services. We have not seen that or heard that. York County Library all recognize that law enforcement agencies and officers may occasionally believe that library records contain information which would be helpful to the investigation of criminal activity. Confidential records will be released only upon the issuance of a court order in proper form following a showing of good cause based on specific facts by a court of a competent jurisdiction. I will direct you also to 24 Pennsylvania statute, subsection 4428, which was amended by 9375. It gives you what is protected and when can records be disclosed. A court order, a judge's order in a criminal case, and a primary exception. Confidential information, key aspects of the law. Protected information includes database search records, reference interviews, circulation records, interlibrary loan records, computer use logs, and any other personally identifiable information regarding the use of library materials. Now, one Linda Wolf continuously violates every single one of these tenets. I have recently been informed that she is the intake secretary at the shelter. This is governed by the Homeless Management Information System. She has access to every personal piece of information that anyone that goes to that shelter is required to present. She is using that information, as well as the information that she's gathering at the library, to provide information who I thought was going to Chief, and I've held him accountable for the violations. I have now learned that perhaps the Pennsylvania State Police are involved.
Tim.
Now,
Yes, sir. Go ahead. You still got about 30 seconds. Feel free.
I ran 2 tests based on the use of WordPerfect at that library. And the first one, I typed in 1999, the Borough Council hired a police officer with the last name of Clark. Clark was sitting about that far away from me. How he knew what I had typed into that computer on WordPerfect, I do not know. Secondly, one for Linda Wolf. I typed in my suspicions about Chief's hands being tied. And she now works for the Pennsylvania police. And she says she gets up in a huff, takes her cell, and goes into the library. Into the restroom. These violations are going to stop. Thank you.
Thank you. Community media?
Those joining us via Zoom, You are now able to unmute yourselves if you would like to address council.
Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to 14. Thank you. A second? All those in favor of adjournment? Thank you. Sorry, I didn't read your thing.